Welcome back to Old Folks Racing PS4. This is round 8 of the 2021 season, and we are back at the Nurburgring Grand Prix Loop with the Porsche 962 Group C. Race 1, what a race that was. A very emphatic win by Kev Allen, followed by Chris Russell and Darren Head. Race 2, will we see as much trouble as we saw in the start of race 1, or will it be better? Kev Allen and Diogo Silva are on the front row again. Let's see if Diogo Silva this time can make it to the first corner without trouble, and the way they go, and that's a good start by Scott Davely. Very fast start by Scott Davely. They're challenging for the lead, but Kev Allen has none of it and goes into turn 1. Diogo Silva goes on the inside and they touch. Disaster again for Diogo Silva and also Scott Davely as they collided in turn 1. Diogo Silva now is coming back at Scott and manages to this time get the position, but guess what? It was Darren Head that said thank you very much and escaped into second position, with Kev Allen maintaining the lead as we are in the first few corners of lap 1 out of 12 in this race, and we already have a setup for a very, very interesting battle for second place indeed, with Darren Head, Diogo Silva and Scott Davely all managing. Oh, and there's a problem there for Alonso Fonso in the corner, which is this corner, Vidal corner. That's the Vidal chicane. I don't know the name of this corner, I'm sorry. This is the Michael Schumacher S, and we see Barry Evans here in 8th place. Nice start from Barry. Let's see if anyone has lost the time. Yes, Diogo Almeida has lost time. He is in last place, so something must have happened to Diogo as he dropped to last within the first few corners. Here he is in that Blaupunkt livery of the Porsche 962. He finished the first race in 10th place. Now he's in last, but still almost 11 laps to go. Alonso Fonso spins, so not a good first lap for the Portuguese drivers. With now it's Alonso Fonso that has dropped to last. Diogo Almeida gets back into 11. Diogo Silva also has collided with Scott Davely, but thankfully he hasn't lost that much time. All sorts of mayhem already happening, but of course not as much mayhem as we saw in the first race, as Stuart Brand is now battling with Barry Evans. Barry up to 7, so that's a nice first lap from Barry as he runs wide there in turn 3, and now Stewart is on the outside. Will he make it stick? Yes, he will, and Barry now defending already from Frankie, who is very interested in getting that 8th place here. Is he on the inside? Will he manage to go through? The answer is yes. That was a nice clean overtake there, and we haven't seen too many of those in race 1. This car is very, very difficult to control, as you can see. And this just generates lots of problems for the old folks here at the Nurburgring. Todd Antonio is or has been passed by Diogo Almeida, so Diogo up to 10th, where he finished race 1. Let's see where he gets where he can get to, as we are already in the second lap. As before, we see Kev Allen completely checking out. He's having no opposition here. Todd Antonio is having some opposition from a recovering Alonso Fonso. Let's see if he goes on the inside. Not quite possible to go on the inside there, but Todd just runs wide and Alonso Fonso goes through. Alonso Fonso goes through and Todd spun. Todd has spun and lost more time, so a bit of a disaster here for Todd Antonio in the second lap. Frankie continues to now put some pressure, this time on Stuart Brand, after both of them have overtaken Barry Evans, who is now back to 9. So lots of moves and changes of position in this area of 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. And here comes Frankie on the inside on turn 1. Nice move there. Nice move from Frankie, getting the position from Stuart Brand. These two, of course, have battled already a lot in the first race, as we see now the battle for 5th place with Jumbo under attack by Chris Russell. Chris, of course, had an incredible race in race 1, finished in 2nd place. He was only beaten by Kev Allen. He is now having a slightly harder time in race 2. He's actually in 5th place now, overtaking Jambo. That was a nice move there. And here comes Diogo Silva now, really attacking Darren Head and trying to force Darren into a mistake. Let's see how this actually evolves. This could be a very, very important battle for the championship as well, as these two are battling for position. Here comes Diogo Silva now on the inside. Nice move, but Darren just shut the door there and continues. Oh, and he has run wide. He has run wide, and Diogo Silva is through. Diogo Silva into 2nd place. Darren Head is in 3rd now. Oh, and that is a collision there again between the two Blaupunkt black Porsches. That was Diogo Almeida forcing himself through Barry Evans. So still lots of position changes. In fact, much more than we saw in race 1. Look at this, Barry braking very late, almost going through Diogo's rear. Diogo also outbrake himself, and they now battle into the last corner, as Barry is not happy about losing that position. He's trying to get it back, but now Diogo got a better exit out of the last corner and is powering through into the main straight for the 3rd time. And I think this means that Diogo Almeida has got, at least for now, 9th place, as Barry comes through now. Ooh, and they touch, but barely lost time there. Diogo. Barry also now strangely spun. In fact, Barry was like almost stopped there, not to hit Diogo, and he ended up hitting Diogo, and then whilst trying to get going again, he just spun on his own. So that's just a bizarre incident by Barry Evans. In fact, he hasn't lost any. Well, he has lost one more position, because Alonso Afonso is now up to 10th. Barry in 11th. That's where he finished race 1. And although he did a very, very good start for this race number 2, round 8 of the championship, he is finding himself again in 11th position, just at the end of the 4th lap, as Kev Allen, who we saw briefly there. It's amazing we didn't have a single shot of the leader in race 1. Thank you, producer, for at least showing us that Kev Allen is well and alive and going and leading this race, as Diogo Silva is now almost 7 seconds behind. Scott Laveley has gone up to 3rd. We haven't seen that, but that's quite important. Again, Darren Head, I'm not sure if that was a mistake or if that was just Scott getting the position, but Darren is actually now a couple of seconds, or make it 3 seconds behind Scott. So that is significant, that Scott Laveley now is in the podium position, which would be an incredible finish for him. Darren Head is actually now, should be more worried about Chris Russell behind him than actually Scott Laveley ahead of him. Remember that Chris actually caught him and overtook him in race 1 to finish an excellent 2nd. So Darren now must be starting to look in his mirrors, because not only Chris Russell is there, but also a recovering Jambo, who is in 6th place. So a nice battle in the making here, as Frankie and Stuart Brand cannot have too much of each other. They seem to be magnetically attracted in this Nurburgring circuit. Now it's Stuart's turn to put some pressure in Frankie. So nice battle there for 7th place. And again, Frankie very, very strong in the early stages of the race. Let's see if today, in this particular race, he can sustain that momentum and really achieve a more emphatic finish. He has done a great job in race 1, but still at the end of the day the result was 9th, which is not bad, but of course he will want to do better in this race 2, and so will Diogo Almeida and Alonso Afonso, who have found trouble in these early laps. We haven't seen what happened with Diogo Almeida and Barry Evans. Barry Evans has spun again. Barry Evans has spun and has hit the reset button. I think he's somewhat frustrated with his race. Here comes Todd D'Antonio. He's not too far behind, so maybe we can see a nice battle there for 11th place as well, as now the battle between Stewart and Frankie is the liveliest one at the track. At this particular moment, Stewart is got. Will he try to make a move now on the start-finish line, or under braking for turn 1? We shall see. we won't see that because the producer just moved back to Jambo, to this battle for, well, eventually 4th place. Here comes Stuart Brand, but he didn't quite make it to a move there. But we're still in lap 6, so we're still reaching the midpoint of this race. There's still plenty of time, and I think Stuart is just evaluating his options there, trying to find where is he more competitive and quicker than Frankie, at which points of the circuit makes sense to do a move. Some very smart driving there by Stuart Brand. Chris Russell, in the meantime, is actually closing in big time on Darren Heads. So this battle for 4th place is something real. Look at this Stuart Brand now almost losing it at the exit of I don't know the number of that corner, and now it was Frankie almost out breaking himself there, but kept going. So quite a lively race. No major fireworks, but you know, a lot of action and mostly very clean racing by these drivers, of course benefiting from the experience they got in race 1, although most of them will probably be wanting these to get over quite quickly. I cannot say that this is their favorite combo of the old folks. It's a bit of a polarizing combo. Nice circuit, but the car is really a little bit difficult to control, and especially to turn, as we are seeing here. Chris Russell really battling with that Porsche 962. In the meantime, here is the guy that does not need to battle because he's completely under control. Cavallan has 7 seconds gap now over Diogo Silva, and credit to Diogo here. He has maintained that gap more or less stable, which is of course quite an achievement given the level of dominance that we've seen there from Cavallan. But definitely this battle between Frankie and Stuart Brand is keeping also. Oh, and they touched there. I think Frankie just braked a little bit too much into that corner maybe, and Stuart was not expecting such a sudden stop of the yellow car, and in fact ended up losing a little bit more time than he had. But it's a nice battle. I don't think that this is over yet. Of course, we're still in lap 7. Alonso Afonso is now reaching the back of Diogo Almeida, so maybe we can see an all-Portuguese battle here for 9th place on board now with Alonso Afonso. Oh, and then Diogo has run out of talent there. Here has run out of talent, and look at this, he's almost drifting in the gravel there. Diogo Almeida, not quite his day, and here comes Alonso Afonso. So Diogo Almeida, having a bad afternoon, is about to become worse because he's under severe pressure from Alonso Afonso. And look at this nice battle as well here at the Nurburgring. So battles throughout the field is of course what Old Folks Racing PS4 is about. We've got 12 drivers here, and I believe we have battles throughout the field. And look at this battle is about to become a bit dicey because Alonso was almost getting into the pit entrance there, and really he thinks he's the faster driver. He just needs to find a way around Diogo, which is not easy with this car. But now let's see in the run-up to turn 1, can he make a move on the inside? Let's see. Alonso Afonso now is lining up a move to Diogo Almeida. Let's see if he can do it. Diogo brakes, and Alonso Afonso brakes later, and here he comes, and nice move there. Nice move from Alonso Afonso. Runs wide, but I think he secured the position. Or did he? No, because he now himself runs wide in turn 2. Here comes Diogo Almeida and gets the position back. Very nice clean racing from these drivers. Look at that. Alonso Afonso now outbrakes himself and gets slightly off the track in turn 3. Diogo Almeida almost losing it in turn 4. Of course, this is the problem that we saw over and over again in race 1 when we are racing wheel to wheel with another driver in this car. It's very difficult to keep complete control of everything, and therefore it's really difficult to run side by side and outbrake other drivers. And this is what we're seeing with these 2 Portuguese drivers here. Here comes Alonso Afonso now on the inside. Diogo shuts the door there, but Alonso Afonso can now get a better exit, or can he? No, he can't, and they touch, and Alonso Afonso gets into the grass, and he will have to try and do it all over again because Diogo Almeida got the best out of him in this particular situation. I don't think anyone was at fault there. I think that Diogo gave Alonso Afonso enough space. Simply Alonso Afonso couldn't quite get the horsepower when it needed. Frankie outbraked himself. Frankie outbraked himself in the chicane, and he lost the position to Stuart Brand. So this is significant. This is for 7th place, and we saw a battle. This battle for laps and laps and laps, and now Frankie has actually lost a lot of time because he outbraked himself at the chicane. And well, I was surprised how he actually ended up doing a shortcut and still losing so much time, as now Chris Russell is really at the back of Darren Head, which could be quite significant. This is the battle for 4th place. Let's check the gap at the front. We've got Kev Allen now probably drinking cocktails and talking on the phone. He's 7.8 seconds ahead of Diogo Silva. Diogo is probably sweating and driving the maximum out of that Porsche 962, and he still can't get any closer to Kev. But at least he's opened a gap now of 9 seconds, around 9 seconds to Scott Davely, who continues to be in 3rd place, and we are already in lap 9, so this is looking quite likely to be Scott's first podium of the season, as Alonso Afonso now gets back at Diogo Almeida, and this time goes through, and Alonso Afonso in 9th place. Nice battle there between the Portuguese drivers, now swapping positions again with Alonso Afonso 9th and Diogo Almeida 10th, but we still have 3 laps to go. On board with Diogo Almeida, can he get back at Alonso Afonso? He certainly had the ability to do it before, and now he seems to be getting closer and closer again. We see how this battle is going to develop. In the meantime, we see Chris Russell again, and here comes Darren Head now already defending on the inside of turn 1, so he can clearly look in his mirrors. There is the white machine of Chris Russell. He definitely wants to challenge Darren. Maybe he still has time to challenge again for the podium, although these drivers are already 7 seconds behind Scott Davis, so I'm not entirely certain that it is feasible for Chris to look at this. Darren is completely off the track there, and I wonder what, and again Darren is completely overdriving that Porsche. I wonder what the stewards are going to think about it. Diogo Almeida has managed to make a move in turn 1, trying to get the position back from Alonso Afonso, and these two are clearly not done with each other yet, as they are both slightly overdriving that 962, but for the time being they both keep everything in the black stuff and keeping the car in the right direction as well. But I don't think we have seen the last of this battle either, so really some incredible battles happening in this Nurburgring circuit. I think the top 3 are probably stable, but we still have a battle for 4th, we have definitely a battle for 7th, and a battle for 9th at least going on in this racetrack, and we still have a couple of laps to go, finishing of course round 8 of this championship, also the winter season that will have 20 rounds, so we're almost reaching the midpoint of the winter season as well. And of course we still have a few rounds to go before some of these drivers start dropping points. Of course, only 80% of the results, so 16 out of 20 will count towards the final standings, and at this rate I think Kev Allen at some point will be dropping wins, because he's got so many of them. It's his 4th consecutive win if he manages to do 1.5 laps in the lead of this race. And I need to check my statistics, but I'm fairly certain that no one in Old Folks Racing PS4 has ever won 4 races in a row. So that's an incredible achievement by Kev. Look at this, Chris Russell in that 99 machine. I think he's probably faster than Darren, but he just cannot find a way through. It's really difficult to overtake cleanly with this car, and that's what Chris Russell is finding out. Nevertheless, I think we may see some last lap desperation coming on as they approach the closing stages of this round 8 here at the Nurburgring. Diogo Almeida now seems to have lost a bit of time, so he's I think a second behind. Well, is it a second? Yes, it is a second, almost 2 seconds behind Alonso. We may see some desperate move here by Chris Russell. We shall see. He's actually quite close now in the run-up to the chicane, and I think this could be an opportunity here for Chris Russell, and he's going to go for it, or is he not going for it? Not yet, but he's got a better line now coming out of the chicane, or does he? It seemed that he had a better line, but now he's lost a bit of momentum coming out of the chicane as they are about to enter, well, not yet the last lap, but almost. I mean, there are almost 30 seconds behind the leader. Darren Head already again protecting the inside, protecting any last lap. Desperate move by Chris Russell, as Chris did not try to make a move into turn 1. What is he thinking? He's saving for one last attempt. And Alonso Afonso now is finding Frankie. Hello, and Frankie tries to defend. Alonso Afonso, well done on the inside, manages to get side by side, and I think got the job done. And Alonso Afonso manages to go to it, but here comes Frankie now into turn 1, and they go side by side. Will they clash? No, they didn't clash, but Alonso Afonso had to run wide, and Frankie, I think, is going to get their position back. They run side by side into turn 2. They run side by side into turn 2, but Alonso Afonso is going to be ahead, and Frankie will be disappointed again that he dropped to 9th in the very, very closing stages of this race. Again, he finds himself boxed into that 9th position. He definitely has the capability to finish ahead, but he doesn't seem to have the luck. It seems to have always a slight mistake at the end of the races. Here comes Cavallan to take the lead, and he's overtaking someone. Oh, Cavallan is stopping and has hit. Who was this? Was Barry Evans or Todd D'Antonio? I don't know. I think it was Todd, but will he win? He will win. He will win, but oh dear. Silva was like less than 2 seconds. I'm not entirely sure what Kev was trying to do there, but well, I mean, certainly he thought he had. Oh, and Darren Head has spun. Darren Head has spun, and Chris Russell. Oh, Chris is letting him through, so probably this was some tangle or another. And Chris is very sportingly letting Darren through, as Jumbo now comes and tries to overtake both of them. He has nothing to do with this tangling. He just wants to get positions, and well, he ended up in 6th place. But I wonder what has happened there between Darren Head and Chris Russell. Alonso Afonso finishes in 8th place with Stuart Brand securing 7th. So that was a good race by Stuart. And here is the replay of what happened. Chris Russell. There they are, about to enter the Schumacher S's, and Chris is going to try a move or what? No, they go through the. Oh, Darren runs wide in the S's, and here comes Chris. Is going to go through the outside as they now brake, and oh, they tangled there. Now in the approach to the chicane, I told you this was going to be some last lap desperate move by Chris Russell, and it seems to be the case. I think he's just going to hit Chris. Is that what happened? Yes, that is what happened, and what a great move by Chris Russell to very politely giving the position back there. He was almost losing a position himself to Jumbo, but they ended up the lap as they started with Darren at 4th, Chris Russell 5th, and Jumbo a very close 6th place. Another good performance from Jumbo with then others race as saw before. So interesting battles here at the Nurburgring. I think most of the drivers will want to see this combo behind them. There is the result. Some new faces in the podium. Diogo Silva back in the podium, which is also nice to see. Scott Neville, his first result, the first podium result of the season. And here is the points table with Cavallan with already a substantial lead over Darren Head, and of course Jorge Jesus Alonso for in 10th place. Thank you, and see you next week.